Most gardeners waste weeks using tiny plastic starter kits that barely give seedlings a fighting chance. Those kits look neat on a store shelf, but by the time your seedlings grow their first true leaves, many are already struggling, root-bound or stunted. I've seen this happen countless times in backyard gardens and raised beds, and it's frustrating. The consequence isn't just weak plants, it's lost time, wasted seeds, and lower yields. If you care about serious results, you need to stop treating seedlings like fragile ornaments and start giving them space to thrive from day one. And yes, there's a simple, overlooked hack that can give you stronger starts than any fancy plastic kit, an ice cube tray. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button because I share these practical, no-fluff techniques every week, and your garden will thank you for it. You don't need special kits to grow strong seedlings. Here's the reality. Plastic seedling trays are marketed as convenient, but they are restrictive. The cells are often too small, soil dries unevenly, and roots circle the bottom, creating shock when you transplant. Ice cube trays, on the other hand, are small but flexible. With just a few modifications, they give your seeds enough room to develop a healthy root ball while keeping them manageable on a windowsill or under a grow light. I use ice cube trays with seedlings for tomatoes, peppers, and basil, especially when starting multiple varieties at once. The key is using soil that's loose and rich in nutrients and not overpacking the cubes. I fill each cube about 3/4 full, lightly press the soil down and water gently so it's moist but not soggy. Start seedlings in a nutrient-rich mix, not potting soil from the store. Another mistake gardeners make is assuming any potting soil will do. Store-bought mixes often contain fillers that provide no nutrition and compress quickly, which is deadly in small ice cube cells. I make a simple mix: 1 part cocoa coir or peat, 1 part vermicompost, and a handful of perlite for drainage. The vermicompost is the game changer here. It contains nutrients, beneficial microbes, and improves water retention. For those of you looking to get consistent high-quality worm castings, I use the Top X-Iron 5-tray worm composter. This 5-layer bin lets me process kitchen scraps and garden waste into rich compost that I mix directly into seed-starting trays. It's compact enough for a patio or small greenhouse, and the link is in the description for anyone interested. You don't need to buy pre-made compost. You can grow your own nutrients at home, saving money and giving your seedlings a head start. Don't overwater. Ice cube trays retain water differently than plastic cells. A huge advantage of ice cube trays is that they retain moisture evenly, but only if you manage it correctly. People assume more water is better, but that's how damping off disease happens. I water my trays from the bottom by placing them in a shallow tray of water for a few minutes, allowing the soil to wick moisture upward. I check the soil by finger. If it feels damp but not muddy, it's perfect. You want roots to grow down naturally, not sit in waterlogged soil. For raised beds, this method makes transplanting seamless because the root ball remains intact. In hydroponic setups, I use the same concept. Fill the cubes with a neutral medium like cocoa coir mixed with vermicompost and then transplant the entire cube into net pots. This reduces shock and speeds up growth. Transplanting from ice cube trays is honestly just about as stress-free as it gets. One reason ice cube trays really outperform those plastic kits is how easy they make transplanting. The cells are small enough that you can handle them easily, but they're still big enough to support a healthy root system. When your seedlings have about 2 or 3 true leaves, I just gently press on the bottom of the cube, and the soil pops out intact. I found that trimming just a tiny portion of any circling roots before transplanting can actually help improve root spread, especially in raised beds. If you're moving seedlings to a raised bed, just dig holes a little larger than the cube itself and plant at the same soil depth. For hydroponic systems, you just slide the cube into a net pot. It'll dissolve a bit in water, and the roots naturally grow right out. This method, in my experience, consistently produces plants that are faster, stronger, and much less prone to transplant shock than the old-school kits. Use vermicompost regularly for maximum growth. Now let's talk nutrition for a minute. You can start seedlings in perfect soil, but if you don't feed them properly once they sprout, their growth is just going to plateau. Liquid worm castings are really my go-to. I harvest from the top Exoyan worm composter by simply opening the spigot at the bottom, which is pretty handy. This liquid is packed with nutrients and microbes, and I usually dilute it about 1 to 10 with water to feed seedlings every week. For raised beds, I also mix finished castings into the top layer of soil when transplanting, roughly 1 to 2 inches across each planting hole. In hydroponic systems, the diluted castings give a nice microbial boost without messing with the pH much. This keeps plants vigorous and, honestly, a lot more resilient to pests. Space seedlings properly. Crowding kills growth. Even with ice cube trays, beginners make the mistake of letting seedlings grow too close. Roots compete for water and nutrients, and leaves shade each other, slowing development. I usually leave a few millimeters between seedlings in each cube, if more than one seedling germinates. Later, during transplanting, I space them according to their adult size. For example, tomatoes go at least 18 inches apart in raised beds, while leafy greens can be 6 to 8 inches. Crowding in trays will produce small, spindly plants, no matter how good your soil is. Track your results and adjust quickly. The serious gardener never assumes one method works for every crop. I keep a small journal of seed start dates, watering frequency, soil mix ratios, and growth observations. For instance, in my last round of tomatoes, I adjusted the vermicompost ratio from 1 to 4 to 1 to 2 and noticed a clear improvement in root density and early leaf development. I also rotated trays under grow lights to ensure uniform growth. This kind of data-driven adjustment is what separates hobbyists from gardeners who consistently get strong starts and better yields. Ice cube trays aren't just cheap, they're versatile. People overlook ice cube trays because they're small and cheap, but that's actually their biggest advantage. You can reuse them for dozens of seed batches. They fit on any windowsill in small greenhouses or on racks in a hydroponic setup. And unlike traditional kits, you can monitor each cell individually. If a seed doesn't germinate, you know immediately. I often use leftover cells for cuttings or microgreens. It's an adaptable system that scales up or down depending on your garden size. If you've been frustrated with weak seedlings or wasted seeds, switching to ice cube trays combined with high-quality vermicompost is one of the most effective steps you can take. It's inexpensive, adaptable, and produces consistent, strong seedlings ready for transplanting in raised beds, backyard gardens, or hydroponic systems. The added benefit of using a top Exian worm composter is that you generate your own nutrient-rich castings and liquid fertilizer at home, which keeps plants healthier and faster growing. The link to the composter is in the description for anyone who wants to get started. Remember, strong starts lead to strong finishes. Pay attention to root health, spacing, soil nutrition, and transplanting techniques, and you'll see the difference in yield and plant resilience. If you want more practical, hands-on gardening advice like this, make sure to subscribe to Farm Logic and hit the notification bell. And share this video with gardeners in your circle. Everyone deserves better results without wasting time or money on kits that underperform. The best gardens grow from observation, experience, and the willingness to challenge common advice.